Hello students, welcome to this session. In this session we are going to discuss one of the important and complicated topic of chapter number 14, that is respiration in plants. This topic is electron transport system and oxidative phosphorylation. This topic is very important as well as very complicated part of this chapter, part of the cellular respiration. We have studied regarding glycolysis and Krebs cycle during last session, and the institute has already uploaded videos pertaining to glycolysis and Krebs cycle on institute's YouTube channel. You may visit those videos so that you can understand this session clearly. As the term, this topic, electron transport system, shows that particularly this is the process under which electrons are transported from one point to other point. Now we have to understand from which point the electrons are transported and what are the purposes of the electron transport system. Here we will understand. Firstly, we will discuss the structure of mitochondria in concise way so that we can understand the electron transport system clearly. You know, the mitochondria are the site for aerobic respiration. In the matrix, this is the matrix, gelatinous substance which is filled inside the mitochondria is matrix. The Krebs cycle takes place in the matrix here, matrix of mitochondria. There the reducing agents 3 NADH2 and 2 FADH2. These are the reducing agents which are produced in Krebs cycle in the matrix of mitochondria. So these reducing agents at one end, after passing through the electron transport system or electron chain, get oxidized and release the hydrogen atom as well as the electrons side by side simultaneously. Here main purpose is to separate the hydrogen atom in the electron transport system so that the hydrogen atom in the form of proton at the end of transport system are pumped again in matrix to produce ATPs. You know, the ATPs are the currency of energy. The final goal of electron transport system is to generate ATPs. For the generation of ATPs, the hydrogen atoms plays vital role. That means the first important purpose of electron transport system is to separate the hydrogen atom from the reducing agents NADH2 and FADH2. Now we will discuss the electron transport system and where the electron transport system starts, and what are the chains, what are the channel of the transport system of the electron. Just I told you, the reducing agents are produced in matrix of mitochondria. Just you try to understand by the cross sections of the mitochondria here. This is the outer membrane of mitochondria, and this is the inner membrane of mitochondria. In the inner membrane of mitochondria, there are number of finger-like projections, you know. They are cristae. On cristae, number of elementary particles or F1, F0 particles are found. They are also called as oxysomes. Oxysome, particularly the head, that is the F1 part of the elementary particles, is the site where ATP is synthesized. But the gaps or the space between the elementary particles or FO, F1 particles, there are 4 types of the complexes which are having the channel or a chain to pass the electrons, starting from first complex. And in the chain, there are number of electrons receptor. They are also carrier of the electrons. After taking or receiving the electrons, they pass the electrons to the other carrier or other receptors. Just we will start discussing the electron chain or electron transport system from the first complex. First complex, which receive the hydrogen atom from the NADH2. Here, dehydrogenation of NADH2 takes place. So this complex is called as NADH dehydrogenase complex. After the redox reaction, the NADH2 release hydrogen atom. FMN, that is the flamine mononucleotide. That is the first receptor of the electrons. And after receiving the electrons, the FMN transfers the electrons to the iron sulfide complex, iron sulfide receptor of the electrons. Thereafter, the iron sulfide complex or receptor transfer the electrons to the UQ, uniquinine. Uniquinines are the free permeable electron receptors or coenzyme. Uniquinine are free permeable coenzyme which receive the electrons from iron sulfide receptor and get reduced in the form of UQS2. And here, during the redox reaction, some amount of energy is released. That amount of energy is utilized to pump the 4 hydrogen atoms from matrix of the mitochondria in the inner membrane space. This is the outer membrane. Just as I have told you, this is the outer membrane of the mitochondria, and this is the inner membrane, and between both the membranes there is a space. That space is called as intermembrane space. This is where the electron transport system is taking place. Is starting from the first complex, that is the NADH2 dehydrogenase complex, and from here the second complex starts. The second complex actually is called as succinide dehydrogenase complex. In the case of Krebs cycle, this complex takes part in formation of fumarate from the succinic acid, and during this biochemical reaction at this complex, two molecules of FADH2 are released for 2-pyruvic acid. We are talking the number of FADH2 and NADH2 in context of 2-pyruvic acid, which are gained by oxidation of one glucose molecule. So here the reducing agent, reducing agent which are produced, two molecule, here the reducing agent which is produced, that is the FADH2, and here FADH2, after taking part in redox reaction, release the hydrogen atom and electron, and those electrons are received by the iron sulfide receptor, which transfer the electrons to the unique vanillin. From the unique vanillin, the electrons are transferred to third complex. This complex is called as cytochrome complex, cytochrome BC complex. It consists of cytochrome C1 and then iron sulfate and cytochrome B. So firstly, in this complex, the electrons are received by the cytochrome C1, and thereafter from cytochrome C1 the electrons are transferred to iron sulfate, and from there transferred to cytochrome B. And at this complex, the 4 hydrogen atoms are pumped from the matrix to the inner membrane space. And after third complex, the electrons are transferred to cytochrome C. Cytochrome are the type of protein, and cytochrome here, cytochrome C is movable, and which receive the electrons and transfer the electrons to the fourth complex. The fourth complex is called as cytochrome oxalase complex. Cytochrome oxalase complex. It consists of two copper atom and cytochrome A and cytochrome A3. Firstly, the electrons is received by copper, thereafter by cytochrome A, and then by again copper, which transfer the electrons to the cytochrome A3 finally. And at this stage, the two hydrogen atoms are pumped from matrix to the inner membrane space. And electrons are then transferred outside the complex, where the electrons, after combining with the oxygen, and here that ionized oxygen combines with the two hydrogen atom, and the formation of water takes place. Formation of water is the final second goal of the electron transport system, because water is one of the two important component of complete oxidation of glucose. First component is carbon dioxide, which is more or less finally released at the Krebs cycle level. But in electron transport system, water is produced at fourth complex level. And here, after formation of water in inner membrane space, gradually the hydrogen atoms get accumulated in large number, and side by side the negatively charged electrons are accumulated in matrix of the mitochondria. And this accumulation of hydrogen atoms, or you may tell proton, in inner membrane space and electrons in matrix is called as electrochemical gradient. And as the inner membrane of mitochondria is permeable, here the ATP synthetase enzyme plays very important role for pumping the hydrogen atom at F1 part to F1 part, and after that in matrix the ATPs are produced. The ATP synthetase catalyze the proton or hydrogen atom to pass through the FO part of the elementary particles or oxysons, and those protons enters into the F1 part. There, those protons are utilized in production of ATP in the matrix of the mitochondria. After combining the ADP with the inorganic phosphate, the production of ATP is the final goal and very important goal. We know the ATP are the currency of energy, and in the form of ATPs the energy is stored in the matrix of the mitochondria, and whenever the certain part or the cells or the organisms require energy, those ATPs converts again into the ADP and generate energy. So this is the overall electron transport system. Now we will understand the oxidative phosphorylation. At each level of complexes, the oxidative phosphorylation takes place. The separation of the protons of the hydrogen atom during redox reaction at each level is called as oxidative phosphorylation. In the case of photosynthesis, hydrogen atoms are produced by utilizing the solar energy or photon energy. But here, at each level, due to redox reaction, energy is generated and onward which is utilized in the production of the protons, hydrogen atoms and electrons. So, all the biochemical reactions at each level of the complexes is called as oxidative phosphorylation. Now we will discuss here the energy calculation. How much energy is produced in the form of ATPs at final level. That means we are going to discuss the balance sheet of the energy here. You know, in the glycolysis directly the net production of ATP is 2 ATPs are formed in glycolysis for one glucose molecule, and 2 NADS2 are produced in glycolysis. Clear? And in Krebs cycle, how much NADS2 are formed? One here you see, second and third. And for 2-pyruvic acid, for the complete breakdown of the one glucose molecules, that means to have it 3 into 2, 6 NADS2 are formed. 6 and 2 FADS2 here during the conversion of succinic acid into fumaric acid for 2 molecule of the pyruvic acid. So 2 FADS2 in Krebs cycle, and 2 ATPs are produced for 2 molecule of pyruvic acid from the JTP. Firstly, JTP is produced, thereafter that energy is utilized in production of the ATP. By this way, 2 ATPs are formed during Krebs cycle. In this case, in the case of electron transport system or oxidative phosphorylation, we will discuss only the reducing agent. By these reducing agent, how many ATPs we are ultimately getting. Here you should know that during the pumping of the hydrogen atom, 4 hydrogen atoms can produce 1 ATP. 4 hydrogen atoms can produce 1 ATP. Clear? You note down. This is very important. And starting from the first complex, you calculate the number of hydrogen atom generated by the NADS2 how many? 4 and 2 here, 6 and 4 again, 10 or 2, 12. That means a single NADS2 is producing during the redox reaction, during these 4 stages, how many hydrogen atom? 12 hydrogen atom. 12 hydrogen atom. By this way, a single NADS2, how many ATPs may generate? You divide this 12 by 4. 12 by 4, that means 3. 3 ATP. 3 ATPs a single NADS2 is generating. And for FADS2, you calculate the number of hydrogen atom from this level, 2, 6 and 8. Clear? A single FADS2 is generating how many? 2 plus 4, 6 and 2, 8. 8 hydrogen atom. And just I told you that 4 hydrogen atoms produce 1 ATP. So you divide by 4. That means a single FADS2 is producing 2 ATPs. 2 ATPs. 2 ATPs. Clear? These are the very important information on NEET point of view. In NEET or any competition examination, these questions may be raised. And by this way we are getting 1 NADS2 is producing 3 ATPs and FADS2 is producing 2 ATPs. Now here you calculate. Firstly in Krebs cycle for 6 NADS2, 6 NADS2 will generate finally at the end of electron transport system how many ATPs? 6 will be multiplied by 3, that means 18 ATP. Clear? And FADS2, 2 FADS2 will generate 2 into 2, that means 4 ATPs. Clear? And ATP is ATP. Finally, in Krebs cycle, this reducing agent is releasing 22 ATPs. Clear? And 2 ATPs are directly. 2 ATPs are directly. 24 ATPs are produced in Krebs cycle by these 2 reducing agent, and this is the direct production of the ATP. Clear? This is the final calculation for the Krebs cycle. Now we will calculate for the glycolysis. This is the direct production, 2 ATPs and 2 NADS2, that means 2 into 3, 2 into 3, that means 6 ATPs are produced for the glycolysis. And now we will discuss the oxidative decarboxylation. Oxidative carboxylation. For 2 pyruvic acid, the 2 NADS2 are produced here. For 2. So here in the case of oxidative decarboxylation, we will multiply the 2 into 3, 2 into 3 because जो है कि 1 NADS2 just we discussed here is able to produce 3 ATPs. For 2 molecule of NADS2, finally here the 6 ATPs are produced. Now we will जो है कि consolidate this number. First, this is the direct production of ATPs, 2 ATPs. Thereafter, for NADS2 in glycolysis, 6 ATPs. And for oxidative decarboxylation, 6 ATPs. And for Krebs cycle, 24 ATPs are produced. We will add 8 or 14 or 4, 18, 1, 3, 38 ATPs. Finally, for the complete oxidation or complete breakdown of one molecule of glucose at the end of electron transport system, 38 ATPs are produced. This 6 for glycolysis, 6 plus 2, 8. This 2 plus 6, 8 in glycolysis. This is the oxidative decarboxylation stage, and this is Krebs cycle. This is output of the Krebs cycle. So this is the final number, and these are the summary of the total output for the production of the ATPs at the end of oxidative phosphorylation or electron transport system. And by this, I am going to conclude this session. You students continue with us. You watch the videos on our YouTube channel. Share those videos to your friends. Subscribe our channel. Get benefited as well as help the institute in promotion of YouTube channel. Thank you very much.